Okay. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Gibbs, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. So I believe we have gone over what we learned in the last class, and I've seen the assignment that was given to you. Most of you have submitted it. So please, if you have not submitted your assignment, please try as much as possible to submit your assignment. Okay, that will really help us to see how far, how well, and how fast you're learning. All right, so that will be it. We'll go straight into today's class, and I'd like everybody to be attentive as usual. Please turn off your video, okay, and then also turn off your microphone. You will only be allowed to turn on your microphone to speak when you have been given the permission to speak, so that we can have orderliness and decorum in the class. Okay. So having said that, we'll go straight into today's class. The last class we discussed how we could animate our sprites, and also we built a simple program that was able to we built a simple program that was able to take values and then give us response based off on those values. In today's class, we'll be exploring something unique and something very, very interesting. Okay, so let's get on with the class. Zia Kuchi Obasi, please kindly turn off or mute your microphone. The external sound coming from your end is disturbing. Thank you. Okay. So okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen so that we all can see where we are going to and what we are going to be doing today. All right. So for today, we are going to explore and we're going to do something very, very interesting. Now, what we are going to do is very simple.
I'm not sure. Where is you now? Okay, see you here. I
Um,
want to move to, so continue.
so I believe in a few minutes my screen will be visible for you to see.
That's me.
Where is it? Where is it?
On yourself.
Okay. Let's work out there. Mama, where will you sit now?
Okay, so I believe my screen is visible for you to see. If you can see my screen, please give me a reaction so that I know that my screen is visible to you. Mr. Gibbs, you can also help me. Uh, Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay, all right, Samuel can see my screen. Okay, all right, thank you very much. So based off on those reactions that I've gotten, that means my screen is visible. So since my screen is visible for you to see, um, I'll go ahead and then uh, I'll go ahead with what we're supposed to learn for today. So please, I'd like everyone to stop sending messages in the chat box. Let us focus on our class for today. All right. So no messages in the chat box until I ask you to do so. Okay. All right. So since my screen is visible, let's get to
Recording is on.
PictoBlox, and then from there, let's do a little work. So last time we were able to animate our sprites. We were able to, change the backdrop. We were able to add sounds to what we were doing. So today we are going to do something very different. I'm going to use a different sprite today, just so that we can use multiple sprites and see how they work. But what we are doing today is not really about the sprite. It's more about the logic and the block that we want to actually create. So what we are going to create today, we are going to create another program, okay? Another program more like a game that allows the sprite, okay, to give us a multiplication table. All right, so it will give us um any multiplication table that we actually want it to give to us. Now, why do we have to do this? When we look at under controls in our last in our last class, someone's mic is turned on. Can you mute yourself so that you stay on the same page, please? Please, everyone, mute your microphones, please. Okay, so back to my screen. Okay, so in our last class, we discussed how we could use the if then else block. That's what we call a conditional statement or a control structure that handles conditions. So for today's class, we are going to deal with something similar, but this has to do with repetition. Okay, we call it loops or looping structures. Now, what a loop does is to repeat a particular set of code blocks or a particular set of statements until a certain condition is being met. That is basically what repetition does, okay, or what loops does. So you can either call it looping statement, or you can call it repetition statement. So what we can do is, let's start off with something similar. Let's make it exciting and interesting. I'll remove Toby, and I'll find another site. Um, Ogechi, mic is turned on. Please turn off your mic.
How can we choose our own sprite? Good.
Okay. All right. So I think we are back on. So I'm going to pick a sprite that actually will mimic uh, what we are about to do. So let me find someone else. Last time we used Avery. So this time I would like to use Devin. Okay, so I'll use Devin as my sprite. So we'll have Devin on the stage. All right. So this is Devin on
Goes
the
on
stage. So
now.
I'll bring Devin here.
Come on
I'll
here.
change my backdrop, which by now we all know how to change
Make it the
this,
speaker.
and we can add more.
But
We can just add.
I tell you. I found out. Which is on.
Yeah, you have to collect it because they're thing down. Then LS.
Please, everyone, mute your microphone, please. Please mute your microphone. Turn off your video as well.
For God's sake, Jehovah's King, can you please just mute your mic?
Please, if you have your microphone on, please turn it off. Mr. Gibbs, please, can you touch me and check this noise?
Let me tell you.
Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, use a reaction, but turn off your microphone. There's a this noise that we are getting here that is not really helpful to us, please. Okay, all right. So that means we're still, and my screen should be visible. My screen should be visible now. All right. So now that we have our different backgrounds here, we can just pick anyone that we would like. So for me, I'll pick school two. Okay. So I'll take school two as my sprite. So we have Kevin here. I'll make this a little more interesting by adding another sprite. So Devin will ask the question, and then the other sprite which I will pick. Let me pick the sprite. Which will be Abby. So I'll pick Abby as the next sprite, and then Devin will ask the questions, and Abby will give the answers. Okay. So what we are going to do first of all is we have to change the direction of Abby. So we need to make Abby face uh, Devin. Okay. So in order to do that, we can click on Abby. All right, so we'll change this to minus 71. So let's change the costumes for Abby. So what we are going to do is when we click on Abby here, we can flip um her standing position. Okay, so did you see that? If you saw what I did, can you just give me a reaction for that? Okay. Also, I've gotten a reaction. So I've been able to change the I've been able to change the position of Abby. Okay, so she's facing Devin right now. So they're standing face to face, and then that will actually do for what we want to do next. So based upon that, we'll go to event so that we can start uh coding. So the first thing we do is we bring our event up. So I'll make it bigger so that we can all see. So when the event is clicked, I now click on Devin because I actually want to start off with Devin. So when this is clicked, we'll now come to looks. All right. So Devin will say, hello, Abby. All right. So Devin will say, hello, Abby. And we'll now come back to Abby. I'll click on Abby. And then Abby will respond to Devin by saying, hello, Devin. Okay. So we come back to Devin. So what Devin does is Devin will say to Abby, okay, can you tell me, or can you give to me uh, a multiplication table? All right. So can you recite or can you say the multiplication table? All right. So that will be, can you say the multiplication table? All right. So let's go ahead and test that. So let me bring this up and then I will run it. So hello, Abby. Hello, Devin. Can you see the multiplication table? So we are still on track. So let's go out from here and get back to the code. And then Abby will respond with yes, I can. Right. So that will be Abby will say yes, I can. But I'll have to add a control structure here to wait for some seconds before she responds. So she'll wait for, let's say, 2 seconds or 3 seconds, and then she'll say, yes, I can. Okay, so that basically fixes us up. Now, having done that, the next thing I will do is to get back to Devin. All right. So I'll click on Devin again. Now, if you notice, whenever I want to write my code for Devin, I will basically click on Devin so that whatever I want for Devin is what I will code for Devin. And whenever I want to code for Abby, I will write the code for Abby separately. Okay. So the scripting stage will change depending the scripting stage will change depending on the that you have clicked. Okay? So what happens is whenever you want to apply code to a specific sprite, you have to click on that sprite so that the code will be attached to that sprite. All right. So now I've clicked on Devin and the code has changed. If I click on Abby, the code will also change because one code is for Abby, one code is for Devin. Okay. So now let's get back to Devin. So Devin will now ask. All right. So Devin will ask. Okay. Um. All right. So Devin will ask.
attention of how
Say,
that man is doing that thing.
say the multiplication table for, let's take 2. Okay. So say the 2. Okay. So let's make
Sorry, I'm muted. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sir, I can't hear you.
Me either. Sir, I can't hear you. And I can't see your
all right,
screen.
all right. Sorry. Can you all mute your mics and then use a reaction to tell me? Okay. All right. So I believe I'm audible right now and you can hear me. Okay. So I believe everybody can hear me now. Let's get back to what we are doing. Okay. Let's get back to what we were doing. I believe my mic is muted now. Now, please listen carefully. one of the reasons why we always tell you to mute your microphone is that when somebody else tries to mute you, the person gets to mute everybody at the same time. So based on that, I might be speaking and then I am
So,
unaware that I have been muted.
what does
Okay, so
it
please, everybody,
how, what how did you
if you have anything, type it on the chat box. And do not use the chat box for
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, I
Your voice is
can hear
not
you.
clear, sir.
Oh, my voice is not clear. That's serious. Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me clearly now? Also, can you hear me clearly now?
No, sir.
Excuse me,
It's
sir.
not still clear.
Okay,
Costumes doesn't work on
is it
PictoBlox for me.
okay? So I think I'll just have to speak louder, and you may have to, check your network connection. Let me ask the others if they can hear me clearly, so that I'll know if it is your network or if it is caused by something on my end. So if you can hear me clearly, please just give me a reaction so that I'll be sure that you can hear me. Please, everybody, if you can hear me clearly, give me a reaction so that I'll be sure that you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you
Sir,
very much. So
costumes doesn't
since you
work
can
on
hear me, everyone,
PictoBlox for
please
me.
mute your microphones, and then let's get back to the class. All right. Thank you. So I will still together in this class. If you are still with me, give me a reaction so that I know we are all together. Okay. All right. All right. Ogechuku, I can see your okay, I can see reactions coming in now. So how did I make Abby to face Devin? Okay, so you click on Abby, you let me share my screen so that you can see. So when you click on Abby, all right, you come over to costumes. When you come to costumes, you will see Abby on a stage like this. So you can decide to flip horizontal, which will change the position of Abby. All right. So if you flip vertical, you will change Abby to to stay upside down. Okay, but we don't want Abby upside down. We want Abby facing them. So you click on flip horizontal, and that will actually flip the position of Abby on the stage. Okay. So let's get back. Then you now click on blocks, and then you be back to the code blocks. All right. So we want to have Abby tell us.
Okay, sir.
Oh, please mute your mics, please. All right. So we want to have Abby give us the multiplication table, all right, that Devin has asked for. Okay.
Mom is
So
showing me
how do we
five
do that? We will
treats.
come to the
Mom
control
is only
structure.
three juice.
I
Mom is
was
showing me
trying
about five treats.
I was
Just
I was
stop lying.
Excuse me, sir.
please, I'd like everybody to keep their mics muted. The when we get
Excuse me, sir.
external sound is really not so please, if you have any questions, you keep them. At the end of the class, we are going to take all your questions. Okay, so what you do is, if you have a question, write it out, and then when we are done with the class, we'll take your questions and then we can continue from there. Okay? Please, so that we don't have to go back and forth in the class. Okay? So you have your questions, all right? You keep them out. If you have any issues, you just write them out. I will handle them immediately we finish the class. Okay? This class is not supposed to take so long. All right, we want you to get the basics first, and then we can also you advance your knowledge from there. So please, let's stay focused, and let's follow instructions so that the class will be very, very interesting for us. Thank you very much. So let's get back to my screen, and let's see how we can finish up what we had at hand. So we have Abby and we have Devin. So Devin asks Abby, okay, to go ahead and then give the 2 times table. All right. So what we do is we pick the repeat. Okay, so we have different control structures or looping statement or repetition statements that we can use when we want to repeat a particular code over and over and over and over again. Okay, we can actually repeat that statement over and over and over again using a control structure, which is we have 3 of them. We have repeat, the one that comes with the 10 attached to it. We also have forever, okay, and we have repeat until. Okay, so now the difference is that when you are using repeat, okay, the repeat with the 10 means you already know the terminating value. You know where you want to end. You know how many times you want to repeat that statement. So you can use the repeat with the 10 attached to it. Then you can change the value of the 10 to be any value that you want. Okay, so that can be used. Now we have forever. Now if you use forever, that means you will repeat that particular statement over and over again. So long as the program keeps running, it will not stop repeating. That particular control structure must be used not all the time, okay, so that you don't create a program that will never stop. If the program never stops, it will use up your system resources, and at the end of the day, it will crash your system, and that is not very, very advisable. Okay, now the next is to use repeat until. Okay, so when you use repeat until, that means you want to write a particular condition, that when that condition is met, that is when that repeat structure or that looping statement will stop. Okay, so for now we will do something very simple, okay, so that you can get the basics of what we are doing. Now we can go to the repeat structure and then we pick it. So we know for sure that most of the times when we are doing a multiplication table, we basically take it from 1 to 12. Okay, so for that we will just take repeat and then we'll change this 10 and then we'll take it to 12. All right, so now what we are going to do next is we'll go to operators. And now remember, under operators, we talked about different kinds of operators. Okay, so we had different kinds of operators. We had more addition, which is your plus. We have the subtraction, we have the multiplication, we have the division. So for today, we are going to be using the um, multiplication because it's timetable that we are doing. All right, so let's make this timetable program so that we can be sure that okay, we've done this. So now before I go to operators, I'll come to sensing so that I can also use answers. Okay, so I can now say I'm sorry, looks, not answers. Okay, so I can now say I'll take this and then I will now come to operators. Please watch me closely. I will pick the multiplication operator, and then I will pass it in here instead of hello. Okay, so I want Abby to say 2 times a particular number, but if I just put 2 times 1 here, Abby will have to say 2 times 1 12 times. All right, so please listen carefully what we are going to do. Now I will just pass in 2 here. Okay, and then instead of passing in 1 here, all right, what I will do is I will come down to uh variables. Okay, I'll come down to variables, and then I will create a variable. So to create a variable, I'll click on make a variable. All right, so when I click on make a variable, I will get this interface. Okay, so what I will do is I will call my variable name, uh let's just say I'll call it more numbers. All right, that's just what I'll call it. Now we will have to tell this we will have to say if more numbers is a number or a string. Okay, so when we say string, that means we want alphabet and characters mixed together, and numbers. But when we want purely numbers that we can use for for addition, subtraction, division, and all of that, we'll just make it a number. Okay, and then we will attach it to all sprites so that all sprites can have access to this particular variable. So I'll say more numbers, I'll click on OK. So given that, I have created a variable called more numbers. So at the moment, more numbers is 0.
Sir,
Now,
I can't see your screen.
please, if you can see my screen, can you just use attachment to let me know that you can see my screen, please?
I can't see your screen clearly.
Please
I cannot see anything.
just type on the box, or you can
I can see
please mute your mic,
someone's
type it on the
photo.
box, or give your network or something so that we know that we're on the same page. It could be from your network, or they could be some other things, but my screen is actually up and running. So please, if you cannot see my screen, maybe from your network, just hold on a little, you see my screen. Okay,
So,
all right,
is that
okay,
for
just hold on a little.
free? No.
So please mute
No,
your
but
mic.
no.
Please mute.
How am I supposed to see? How am I supposed to see? Okay, it's times.
Everybody, please mute.
2 times.
So let's continue. So what I have done is I have created a variable and I called it more numbers. All right. Now, what we did earlier, or in past classes, I had told you what a variable is. That a variable is a memory location where we can store data and we can also retrieve data from that memory location. Okay. So what we are going to do now is I am going to take more numbers, which is my variable, and then I am going to place it here. All right. So now, whatever Abby will be saying, she'll be saying 2 times whatever is inside more numbers. So assuming more numbers 0, Abby will say 2 times 0, which is what 0, she'll say 0. Okay, so she'll say 2 times this, and then she will have to give us the um output. Okay, now what we also need to do is we need to keep increasing the value of uh more numbers, which is our variable, so that she will not just say 2 times 0 for 12 times. So we have to increment Okay, we have to increase the value of more numbers by 1, so that every time she comes back to say or to give us the timetable, what we get will be an updated value of what is inside our variable called more numbers. Okay, so given what we have now, I will now click on change more numbers by 1, because we want it to increase by 1 every time it comes. Okay, so let's take change more numbers by 1. You can always increase the numbers, but what we want now, we want it to increase by 1. Okay, so we can take this and then we place it here. All right, so that will change more numbers by 1, and then say 2 times more numbers, and then that will basically give us what we are looking for. So let's test our program and see if what we are looking for is what we are actually going to get. If it's not what we get, then we can actually make some changes to be sure that we arrive at where we want to where we want to go. All right, so let's go ahead and test and see what happens. Okay, so we go ahead and we click this, and then we have hello Abby, hello Devin. Can you say the multiplication table? And then yes, I can. All right, so we start by saying, oh, say 2, 4, 6, all right, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and then it stops. Okay, so basically Abby has been able to give us the multiplication table by saying 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 down to 22. But what we will also do for our program is we want to make it better by making her explicitly tell us which is which, because now she's just saying 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and the rest. So what we want to do is to change the program so that Abby can actually say to us 2 times 1 equals to this, 2 times this equal to this. Okay, so let's go back to our program and see how we can do that. All right. All right, so let's get back to our program and see how we can do that. So let's come back to looks. All right. So we are going to remove this for the meantime, and then we are going to have to format this, and then we are going to go to operators, and then under our operators, okay, we are going to look for something that will help us to do that. Okay, so let me take join. Let's see what join can do for us. Okay, so I'll place join here, and then within the join, I can now put 2, and then I can add another join here. I can now say times, and then I can just take another join still, because I need to make this statement very, very explicit. So I'll say 2 times, I'll now pass in 2 here. So I will pass in the value that we wanted. So 2 times the value that we have. So I'll take more numbers again. Okay. I'll pass in more numbers here. Please watch me carefully. So 2 times the more numbers now will be the value of what we have here. Okay. So 2 times, at the first instance, we'll have 0. And then we'll now still add another join. I'll take one more join. and then I'll add equal to as a symbol, and then I will now put in this here. So with this, I think Abby will be able to give us explicitly that 2 times 0 equal to this value or whatever value. So let's go ahead and test our program and let us see what we have at the end of the program. So I will make this, I'll increase this again, and then let's see what Abby will give to us. So let's start the program and let's see what she gives to us. So hello Abby, can you say the multiplication table? Yes, I can say the 2 times table. So yeah, 2 times. Oh, so sorry about that. Let me stop this. We actually our program at the first instance stopped at uh 12. So Abby is starting from 2 times 12. So let me stop this and let's go back and then let's reset the variable to 0 every time we start the program. Okay, so every time we start this program, we will reset more numbers to 0. Okay, so I'll just take more numbers under my variables. I can say set more numbers to 0. So whenever we start, more numbers will go back to 0, and then that will actually give us what we are after. All right, so that should save us the stress, and then whenever we start this, more numbers goes to 0. Fine. So we now have, can you see the multiplication table? Yes, I can. And then 2 times 0 equals to 0. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. 2 times 2 equals to 4. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 5, 10. 2 times 6, 12. 7, 14. 2, 8, 16. 2, 9, 18. 2, 10, 20. 2, 11, 22. And Abby gets to stop there. All right. So basically, we have been able to build a simple program that uses a looping statement to make Abby to give us the multiplication table. We use 2 time table, which is actually very simple. So Abby was able to give us 2 time table from 2 to um, to 11. So if we want it to get to 12, we will change the value here to 13 because it will start from 0 to 12. Okay, so that's something that we will discuss further to help you better your coding knowledge. But for now, I want you to see what we have done. We have been able to get Abby to we've been able to get Abby to give us uh, the multiplication table. All right. So what we are going to do next will be an exercise for all of you. So what I'm going to do for you right now is to share this code with you, and then you will also practice with this and see how Abby will also give you your own multiplication table. All right. Okay. So given what we have here, this is where we will take a break. So let me ask, or let me take questions here, and then I will give you something that you will do for me. All right. So please, if you have a question, can you ask your question, and then let's see how we can answer it within a short period of time. Then
Somehow hard for
we
me to arrange the multiplication table.
will stop there. So any questions? If you have questions, please raise your hands. Okay, Tamara has a question. Tamara, can you ask your question? You mute your mic briefly, ask your question, and then I will get to answer.
How did you make David say his own word and Abby said her own words?
Tamara, I'm waiting for you. No question.
How do you make David say his own words and Abby say her own words?
Okay, Olumachuku, can you ask your question? I can see your hands.
Sir, it's hard for me to arrange the multiplication table that Abby will see.
Okay, okay. So what happens is I'm going to share in that class for those of you that want to practice. I'm going to share a screenshot, okay, of how it is being arranged. Then you can code block. Then you can get yours done. Is that okay? All right. So I'll send you
Yes, sir.
I'll send you this picture so that you can look at the code blocks and arrange yours. All right. I'll send you the code block for Abby as well. This is for Abby, and this is for Devin. Okay. So this code is for Devin, and this code block is for Abby. So I'm going to share both of them with you, and then you can actually get to arrange yours the same way, and it will work for you. So you can now toggle it. You can decide to do for 3 timetable, you can decide to do for 4 timetable, and others. Okay. All right. So any other question? Who else? Let me see who there. Let me see hands. Okay, Joel and Ferdinand, can you question?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Good
go ahead.
morning, sir.
Whosoever is speaking, go ahead.
Excuse
Let
me,
me
sir.
hear you.
sir. Do you have homework?
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, go
Do we
ahead.
have
Go ahead.
What
homework?
do you
I
Yes.
can
mean,
hear you.
Abby?
Excuse me, sir. What's our homework?
One person,
Ex-
one person at a time. So please, Ozioma, go ahead. I'm listening. Ozioma.
No, no,
How do
no.
you move Abby?
Okay.
Deal
So
with your questions.
move. Ozioma,
Excuse me, sir.
please listen carefully. Okay, I think I can see your. I think at some point your network is.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. The homework I was given yesterday, I was not able to. Excuse me, sir. What's our homework?
Excuse me, sir.
Sir,
I
please, how
changed
did
the
you get
color
to
of
where you're
Abby's
flipping?
clothes.
Sir, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you again. I think someone muted everyone.
Excuse me, sir. What's the homework?
You'll be giving the homework at the
Listen,
end of the
everybody,
class.
listen. Everybody, listen carefully. If I do not ask you to speak, please mute your mic. All right, so that we can still maintain the decorum in the class. All right, good. So, Samuel, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so sir, my question is, I
Okay.
have two questions actually. The first one is, at the beginning of the class, you were defining loop, and I didn't quite hear you. So please, sir, can you define
Okay.
loop again? That's my first question. Then the second one is, sir, please, where did you go to flip Abby?
Okay. All right. Good. So, two good questions. Now, a loop is a control structure. Okay, I want to put it as simple as I can so that I don't have to use too much technical terms. Okay, so a loop is a control structure that allows you to repeat a particular statement again and again and again. That's what a loop does. Okay, so that's just what a loop does. You repeat a particular statement again and again and again. So whatever you put inside a looping block will be repeated for as long as you want it to repeat. So remember, like what we have done for the multiplication table, we put Abby to say the multiplication table, and then we put it at 12. But we did not have to repeat the statement 12 times. We put in one statement that Abby repeated 12 times because of the looping structure. Okay, so that should answer your first question. A loop basically is repetition. So we can call it a repetition statement or a looping statement. Yeah, you can use them interchangeably. Okay, and then for your second question, when you want to change the position of Abby, that is what I was showing to everyone. Now, you click on the sprite that you want to change the position, Abby, for example. Now, you come to your top left hand corner on your PictoBlox. You will see costumes. Okay, you click on costumes. You will see Abby on a stage like this, and it did things like this. So we have if I click on flip vertical, Abby will be upside down. All right. If I click on flip vertical again, she'll be standing normally. Now, if I go to flip horizontal, she will be backing Devin. Okay. But if I go to flip horizontal again, she'll be facing Devin. So you can use that to change the position. Okay. You can use it to mirror the position of which Abby stands. Okay. So if I do same for Devin, I can click on Devin, and then I can still go to costumes. If I click on flip horizontal, then Devin will be backing Abby. If I flip vertical, Devin will be upside down. If I click on it again, he'll be standing straight. If I click on flip horizontal, he'll be facing Abby again. So you use costumes to change or mirror the positions of um the sprite. Now, looking at where we
Please,
have
sir, your
the
voice is not clear.
So looking at the position of where we have Devin, we can decide to make a few changes, maybe change the color of Devin's trousers and make it purple. We can decide to do a few changes. All right. So that's basically what costume does. All right. So that will be that for now. Any other question so that I can take the question before we quickly round off today's session. Today's session is a short one, and then you will get your assignment. And also, I will send across the screenshot so that you can use it for practice. All right. So if you have any question, raise your hand so that I can take the question.
Excuse me,
Favor,
sir.
Favor Maker, do you have a question? Okay. So only if I do not ask you to speak, please mute your mic. Joel and Ferdinand, yes, go ahead. What's your question?
Sir, the good morning, sir. The homework
Yes.
they gave me yesterday, last week, I did it, but in the purple icon and the green icon, I was not able to operate it.
Okay, you were not able to submit your assignment. Sorry, you're breaking,
Sir,
Joel. I
I
can't hear you
submitted, but
clearly.
I was
Can
not able
you?
to fix it in together because of the shape.
Okay, okay, because of the shape.
Yes.
Okay, don't worry. While I'm going through it, I will make corrections, and then I'll let everybody get their corrections in due time. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Any other person? Any other question? Olumachuku, do you have any question? I can see your hands raised. Go ahead, unmute your mic and ask question.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, who is speaking? Is that Olumachuku? Okay, seems
Excuse me,
Oluma.
sir.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, I'm listening. I'm
What's
listening.
the assignment?
Okay, the assignment will be sent to you. Okay. You just have to practice what we did today. That's just the assignment. What we did today, and get the same results we got today. All right. But the assignment will still be sent across to you. Okay, with materials to help you do your assignment. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. Any other question before we call it a day, and then you
Excuse
can
me,
go ahead
sir.
and practice. Yes. Who is speaking, please?
When I try to turn Abby around, the whole page just goes blank. It doesn't work.
The whole page does what?
Seriously,
Yes,
I
you said
can't
the whole
hear
page does what?
you.
Sorry, I can't hear you. When you try to flip Abby around, what happens? You say the page does what?
Excuse me, sir, I can't hear you.
Sir, she said that when she tried to flip Abby around, the page went blank.
Okay, the page goes blank. Okay, that could be maybe because your laptop or something is is beginning to lag. So what you can do is close your PictoBlox. All right, see your project, close your PictoBlox, and then you open it again. That should help you.
Excuse me, sir. The
Yes.
number that Abby is saying, how would they start it from the beginning?
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
The number that Abby is saying, how would they start it from the beginning?
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. I can't hear you. Go ahead.
The more numbers that we gave Abby to take, is it how would they start it from the beginning?
If your network is bad, can you just type your questions on the chat box? I'll read through it and then I'll give you an answer. Right now, I can't see anything you're saying, please.
She said that the number that Abby is
I've
saying,
asked
like
the
how do you
question,
from
mommy.
Abby is what?
the number that Abby is saying, like I
Nothing.
think from 2 times 0 to done.
Wait, how
She
did
said,
I
how do you start
react? No, no,
saying
now.
Is
Come
it
and
from my
see.
end or your end?
Come and see. He said that we should not on our mic. That is, he will not hear us. So I wrote it on the chat box. Come and
Yes, I'm
see.
still waiting for the question.
Sir, please, I have a question. Sir, please, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Ask your question.
Is there any other way we can make a sprite move rather than making it glide?
Yes, go ahead. Ask your question.
I said, is there any other way we can make a sprite move rather than making it glide? Like there's a glide section. So is there any way like make it walk instead of gliding? Is there a way?
Now, did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. Please go ahead and ask your question. I did not hear you.
I said, is there a way to make your sprite move, like as in to walk one step or walk two steps, rather than making it glide,
Okay, to
like
make your sprite move,
glide?
you have, if you want your sprite to move, when we were dealing with the blocks, I introduced you to the motion blocks, right? So you can explore the motion blocks to make your sprite move forward, move backward, move up, and move down. Okay. So when you get to select your sprite, all right, let me show you a typical example. When you select your sprite, you can select motion. Okay, so under motion, and tell it to move 10 steps. You can turn your sprite number of degrees. You can go to random positions. You can go to fixed positions. You can glide to certain positions. You can glide to random positions. Okay. So if you want any of your sprites to move forward, backward, up, down, randomly, then all you need to do is actually just explore motion block. Okay, so whatever you have on motion, you should be able to use it to make your sprite to move. All right, so I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So that will be today's class is actually very short.
Sir, I have a
Rick,
question.
Ricky asks if how can I download PictoBlox. Ricky, please, um I sent a link earlier on where you can download PictoBlox. So please go through your email, and you should be able to find a link to download PictoBlox. On the chat box, I can just quickly um, drop the link for you so that you can download PictoBlox. So Stonepedia, all right. So Stonepedia, PictoBlox.